Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and we are delving into the Yarn Scrap Friday idea jar. Now, all these ideas in here, suggestions are from our monthly subscribers. Gives me ideas of what to design for Yarn Scrap Friday. So let's see what we're going to be making this week. We've got some festive ideas in here too. So this week we are going to be making a bookmark, and this is a suggestion from Genevieve. So let's see if we can make maybe a festive style bookmark. See what we can come up with. Okay, so this is what I designed. This is what I came up with. I think we'll call it the vintage Victorian shell bookmark. So I hope you like it. So for this tutorial, we're going to be using a sport baby weight yarn, but you can use any weight yarn that you like. This is a cotton yarn. With that, I'm using a 3mm crochet hook, and you're also going to need a pair of scissors and a yarn tapestry needle as well. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to chain 5. So work a little slip knot, and we're going to chain 5. Let's chain 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 5. We're going to work 1 treble crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology. So in UK terms, this is going to be a double treble. But we're going to work a treble crochet to begin. So to do that, we need to wrap the yarn around our hook twice. We're going to go into the first chain we made, so the 5th chain from our hook. Bring the yarn through. And when we work a treble, it's basically any stitch that's a double crochet or bigger. We just yarn over and pull through 2 until we get to the end. So pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we have our treble. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to work another treble in the same chain. So wrap the yarn around your hook. Back into the same first chain. And again, just yarn over, pull through 2 until you get to the end. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to turn our work. Okay, so we've got this 3 chain space facing us. And we're going to, into there, we're going to work 6 double crochets. So in UK terms, that's going to be 6 treble crochets, but 6 double crochets. So yarn over just 1 time, and then just wrapping it around the chains just in that big gap. I'm going to work 6 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more, 6. So we've got 6 double crochet in that huge 3 chain space. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, in between our chains and this treble, we're going to work another treble, chain 3 treble. So wrap the yarn around your hook twice and put your hook in between those 2 stitches, well, between the treble and the chains, and work a treble crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then another treble in the same space. And this will set us up for our next fan shape. Again, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Going to turn our work. And this time again, we work the 6 double crochet in this 3 chain space. And we basically just repeat that until we have the length of our bookmark that we would like. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 more, 6. Okay, so after your 6 double crochet in that 3 chain space, what we then do is find our next treble, and our chains, it's not going to be chains this time, it's going to be that first double crochet. So we're going to work a treble in between this stitch and this stitch. So in this gap here, work a treble, and it's the same thing again. We then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work another treble in the same gap. Okay, so it's the same thing again, and then we just repeat that. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. We work the 6 double crochet in that 3 chain space. So 1, just double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then in between the next 2 stitches in this gap, we work the treble, chain 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and another treble. So in that gap between the next 2 stitches, same gap. And there we go, and then we're ready for our next fan. So just keep repeating that until you have the length of bookmark that you would like. So literally again, we just chain 3, turn, and work our 6 double crochet in this 3 chain space. So just repeat that. I'm going to repeat it until I have 14 shells, and that should be enough for me. If I just put that down, how many did I end up with here? I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I've got 14 shells. And so I will repeat this pattern until I've got 14 shells, and then I shall come back and show you what to do next. Okay, so just coming up to the last treble. So we still make the last treble, chain 3 treble, even though we're not going to work into it. And then what you want to do is just unfold, flatten down your fans, make sure that all facing the right way. And then what you want to do is we're going to work along the edge here to make sure this sits more flat. And to do that, we're going to chain 6. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you want to do is find the first fan that sits underneath, and then look for the last gap between these chains and this double crochet. And in this gap, in between those stitches, we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, I'm going to do that all the way down the edge. So again, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, find the next fan, and then the last gap between the chains and the double crochet, and slip stitch into there. Okay, so I should do that all the way down the edge. Chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Find the next fan, the last gap, slip stitch into there. Okay, just coming up to the last fan. Again, just slip stitch into that last gap, and then hopefully you've got something that looks like that. Then we're going to work across at the bottom to the other side to do the same up the other side, but to do that we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to slip stitch in this huge gap where this fan is, where all these double crochets are. So just slip stitch into there, chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to slip stitch in that very, very first chain that we were working into, right where your tail end is. I'm going to slip stitch into there, that's the middle. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch in the next huge chain space here where all those double crochets are. Chain 5 one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to slip stitch into the gap between these chains and this double crochet of this first fan. So slip stitch into there. Okay, so that's what it looks like across the bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing up this side, but slightly different because the fans are facing the opposite direction. So we're not facing the opposite direction, but you're going to have the gap this end rather than this end. So we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're chaining 6 along the edge and 5 at the bottom. Find the next fan, and again find the chains and the first double crochet and slip stitch into the gap between there. And do that all the way up. Chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find the next fan and slip stitch into that first gap. 6, coming up to the last fan, again slip stitch into that first gap, and it should hopefully look something like that. And then we're going to work the same along the edge but slightly different. Again, chain 5 this time, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip the first 3 stitches. So skip 1, 2, 3, then in the 4th double crochet, I'm going to slip stitch into there. And chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2, 1, 2, and slip stitch in that treble, which is right in the middle. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip this 3 chain space and find the 6 chain space over here. So skip this gap. In this gap, we're going to slip stitch into there instead. And chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then skip the remaining chains and find that first slip stitch here. We're going to slip stitch into there. Okay, so hopefully it looks something like that. I'm going to do work on the final round now, and we're going to make a little sort of fleur-de-lis sort of picot now. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch in the same previous slip stitch below. Then we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch in there again, the same stitch. And chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in there again. And this creates a little picot group that looks something like that. And then what we want to do is find the 6 chains here. We're going to skip the first chain, slip stitch in the second. Okay, so 1, next chain 2, next chain 3, next chain 4, and the last chain 5. And then slip stitch in that previous slip stitch where you worked into the fan, so slip stitch into there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do another little group of picots. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in that same stitch again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch in there again, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in there again. Okay, and then we do the same thing all the way down to the edge. So we would skip the first chain, slip stitch in the next 5, then slip stitch in that previous slip stitch and work another little group of picots. And just do that all the way up to the last fan here. Okay, and then I shall rejoin you. So skip the first chain and slip stitch in the next chain. Okay, so when you get up to the last fan and you reached your first 5 chain space, into the 5 chain space we're going to work a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet, all in that 5 chain space, just wrapping it around the chain. So in UK terms, that's going to be a double crochet, half treble, treble, half treble, double crochet. Okay, and we're going to do that in the next 3 5 chain spaces as well. So find the next one, and again, work a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and a single crochet. Okay, And then what we're going to do is this part, next part is optional. You don't have to do it. It's creating the tassel at the end, the tail. So I'll show you how to do that now. So once you've reached halfway, we're going to chain 25. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, 24, and 25. So chained 25. And we're going to do very similar to the very beginning of the pattern. So we're going to work a treble. So wrap the yarn around your hook twice in your 5th chain from your hook. So we don't count the loop on a hook. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in your 5th chain up, we work a treble. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Work another treble in the same chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and then what we're going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. And just like before, in this 3 chain space, we're going to work 6 double crochet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's your first fan. Then in between these chains and this treble, we're going to work a treble. So in this gap, we work a treble, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and another treble. Okay, then create our next fan. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, 6 double crochet in this 3 chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But this time, just to finish this, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch in the same, in between the treble and this first double crochet, so in this gap. So we're going to slip stitch into there. Okay. Then across this fan, we're going to slip stitch all the way across. So slip stitch in that first double crochet. The next stitch, slip stitch. All the way to the edge. And the idea is we want to slip stitch back to the chains and then back to our main bookmark. Okay, and then when you get to the end, we're just going to slip stitch in that gap. Okay, and now we want to slip stitch along this edge to try and get back to these chains. So to do that, we're just going to slip stitch in the sort of the second chain here. Just work some stitches, slip stitches neatly up to the chains. So maybe about here, we work a slip stitch. Don't see why I can't seem to do that. My tension is all wrong. There we go. I'm going to slip stitch in this chain space. Slip stitch in the edge of this treble, just neatly. I'm sure you can do a much neater job. And then we're back at the beginning, going to slip stitch into this chain. So there we go, I just slip stitch neatly across the edge. And then in your remaining chains from here, we're just going to slip stitch in each of those back to the main bookmark. Okay, so I shall do that and I shall come back. Just slip stitch in all the chains back to the main bookmark. Okay, it's coming up to the last chain. So there we go. This is our little tail tassel, and it's completely optional, so you don't have to add this if you don't want to. But now we're back Make sure we're facing the right direction. We're back on our main bookmark and we need to look for our next 5 chain space. And just like here, we do the same thing again. It's 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, half double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and a single crochet. Okay, then find the next 5 chain space, your last one, and again work a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, oops, half double crochet, and a single crochet. Okay, and then we'll back up to the other side. And we want to slip stitch in this previous slip stitch. And then we're going to just do what we did this side. So we start our first little picot fleur-de-lis thing, chain 3, slip stitch in the same slip stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch in the same stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the same stitch. And then we've got our first group of chain 6s here. We're going to skip the first one and slip stitch in the next 5. And just repeat that all the way to the other end, up to here, making these little picots and slip stitching in between. Okay, so I shall do that and then I shall come back. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the very last fan and the very last chain 3 of the last picot. And all that's left to do now is just to work across the top here, the same as what we did down here. And in this 5 chain space, we go straight into there and work a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and a single crochet. Okay, and then do that in the last 3 5 chain spaces. So the next one, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and a single crochet, and do that in the last 2 as well. Work the last single crochet, and then when you're up to this first picot, we're just going to slip stitch in the same slip stitch where that picot is without trapping our picots, like so. And there we go, there is our finished bookmark. So just cut your yarn, pull that loop through, and then hide your tail ends. So there we go, and this is exactly the same as this one. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you managed to follow along. It wasn't too complicated. I think this would look absolutely gorgeous in a sparkly yarn. Maybe you could do a pink down the middle and then a white sparkly yarn around the edge, something very festive for this time of year. But thank you for watching. I hope you got this far, and a huge thank you as always to our monthly subscribers for helping make these videos possible. You guys are amazing. And if you are interested in becoming a monthly subscriber on Happyberry Plus, you get a lot of extra content. All the PDFs are free to download, the new ones. All the ebooks are free. There's a crocheting magazine as well. Behind the scenes, a podcast, and so much more. So it's worth it checking out. And it's only £5 a month, and it really does help support Happyberry. So thank you for watching. I will see you soon for some more crochet crafting fun. Thanks for watching. Bye. All facing the right way. Then what we're going to do is knock everything over on your desk. Then what we're going to do